The one thing that stood out to me from the very beginning, you are a working child actor in Eastern Europe. How is that? Because I come from a different background. Like my parents were fairly religious. Acting, like I discovered I want to become an actor at 18, right? Up until then, I was gonna become a software engineer, and that was it. So, like to me, that was so foreign growing up, just being in the arts, and the fact that you were already in it as a child, that kind of I'm curious. Like, what is that like?
It's pretty fun because it's only really theatre that I did. I've done a couple of
Okay.
little kind of TV stuff, but nothing, very, very minor things. And theatre was really cool in that I've done two productions, both of which ran like one for like 3 years and the other one for like 11 years, something ridiculous
Mm.
like that. So rehearsals are fun. Then you go and do the show a few times a month. You see your friends, you go and travel. We went abroad. We went to like Germany and Austria and like lots of different places all around the country performing the show. That's always really fun. I was the kid like running around the theater, like knowing where all the like secret like doors are to come out the back through the audience, to come to the side, to go backstage. And I was like, I loved doing that. There's a lot of oh, I should not be saying this. This is not a good thing that I did. But there was a lots of like, you get annoyed from the theater, like if you're needed for a show, you need to be like there early, or you're going on a trip or whatever, you need to miss school. But I somehow got like a whole stash of these, and then at times using it like, yeah, we're having to make some changes to the show. We're going to be rehearsing tomorrow. I won't be coming. There's like already a stamp and everything. Oh, I did some really bad things like that.
I
But
mean,
I
the
mean, I did
kids
like,
watching is really bad. For adults, it's like,
yeah. um, yeah, it was tons and tons of fun. And that first show that I was in, it was like a massive, massive ensemble piece. Like we're talking over 40 actors and like some really big names of like, Belgrade and Serbia and kind of even all like Yugoslavian kind of acting elite were in the show, and I get to watch them do their thing, and it was just so inspiring. And I think from then on, like I'm saying to my husband, like we've got a little girl, she's 2.5 now, and she's displaying all the signs of an actor in making. God help me, there's lots of like standing up, singing a song in front of her entire like nursery class without anyone asking her, and all of this. And I'm like, all I want is for her to not be an actor. She can do whatever else she wants, anything. I'll support anything. She can drive a bus, be a cleaner, be a scientist, be an accountant, whatever she wants to do. I'll be fully supportive, just as long as she's not an actor. Because I remember being like, I did that show when I was 7 or 8, and it is like a virus at that age. You are with adults and you are there and you're treated as an adult, which
yeah,
is very addictive. No one speaks down to you. You are just one of the team, and you are all there to play, and you're playing together, and you're getting paid for it. And then there's the whole like, the crew, all the stuff that happens backstage, your changing rooms, all that kind of atmosphere, the bar downstairs after the show, like that whole world is so addictive.
yeah.
That, which is why I think stepping away from theatre was so hard for me when I did make that decision. I literally couldn't go and see a show for a year. I was just crying all the time, whatever I'd see. Because it's a very, very unique world. And I know child actors, people who do a lot of film, they say the same, of being on set, doing like long running films, etc. It's a very addictive thing.
The way you're treated by not just your co-stars but even like other people. So I did a couple of shows in London, and just I go in and say hello, and the lady who's like the admin lady is like, oh, the artist has arrived, or sir. And I'm like, you're like literally 40 years older than me, don't call me sir. Like I'm coming from like Eastern way, like you say thank you ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. So like it's very odd to be suddenly put on a pedestal a bit.
Yeah. But it's also just this kind of feeling like, oh, we're all in it together, we're collaborating, we're making this magical thing, it's all off the moment. The audience, like in Serbia, I don't know if it's the same for you back home, but like when you go and see a show, it's not like here. The actors don't come out for like, to take a bow once. Like in Serbia, you come out as long as people are applauding. So sometimes it's like 10, 15 times, like if you had
Oh,
an
okay.
amazing night. It just
Okay.
keeps going. So it's like this kind of weird, it's, as I said, like so many times already, it's a very addictive thing. So I find she'll probably be an actor, whatever, and I'll just be depressed for the rest of my
But
life.
you hang on, you have all this backstory and all these lessons that you can pass on. So if anyone
Exactly.
has a
And I
great
just I
chance,
just
it's her.
I just think it's important to approach acting or any kind of profession within the arts, but especially acting, because I think it's such a hard job to do, at a point in your life when you feel that you're consciously making the decision to do it and it's your choice, rather than, I've been doing it since I was 6 years old and now I just think that is the thing that I do and that I want to do, but it's only because I'm not done anything else.
Yeah.
um so I think it's actually better to come at it later on in life as an adult, because then at least, yeah, I'd like to think at least you know a little bit more about what you're getting yourself into than when you're
And
a
also
kid.
having your own source of validation already set up, as opposed to getting lost in all the applause and the bowing and all that, as you've mentioned.
Mm.
Because yeah, I mean, we look at child stars, someone from obviously from America that we know, and you're like, oh wow, that went off the rails. But then you're like, what else was gonna happen? I mean, yeah, obviously they have a choice, but it's just the environment is not set up. Like, there's a reason they all need therapists.
And I think I think often, well, especially in the US, but let's not even go there. But I think it's, if you don't have a solid family base and solid family support, um, and no one there to like, talk you down and just to say, that's all fine, but that's just a job that you do. And
Yeah,
when you come home and when you're with your friends and your family, you're not special, you're just a normal person. So you just leave that over there. I think it's easy to kind of get caught up in this, yeah, as you said, people putting you on a pedestal and thinking you're special. Um, yeah, God forbid, like if you're famous, I don't even.
I think it's also simply the fact because you do something in public, and a lot of people have this fear of public speaking, and they automatically go, "Oh, you must be so brave. I could never do that." Like you're fundamentally this unique, you know, talent that can do this thing that nobody else can, and you're like, "I'm talking." It
In front of
is,
some people.
yeah, fair enough.